The interrogation chamber fell silent as Mind-Seeker Velvets entered, his crystalline form refracting the harsh lights into rainbow patterns. The Zephron Council had brought in their most powerful telepath for one purpose, to determine if the humans were truly as dangerous as rumored. Captain James Rodriguez sat calmly in the chair, his hands unbound, his expression neutral. He'd volunteered for this. The Council needed proof that humanity could be trusted, and telepathic verification was standard procedure for new species seeking membership. "I will know everything," Velvets announced, his voice resonating with psychic power. "Your thoughts, your memories, your species' true intentions. There can be no deception from a touch of my mind." Rodriguez nodded. "I understand. I have nothing to hide." Velvets placed his crystalline hand on the human's forehead. The scream that followed would haunt the council chambers for years. Velvets didn't just scream, he shrieked, a sound of pure terror and anguish that shattered 3 observation windows. His crystalline body flashed through colors never seen before, cycling from serene blue to violent crimson to the black of absolute void. Then he collapsed, unconscious before he hit the floor. Medical teams rushed in. Rodriguez sat exactly as he had been, confused but unharmed. "What happened?" "I didn't do anything." It took 3 days for Velvets to regain consciousness. When he did, he refused to speak for another 2 days. The council waited, concerned and confused. Velvets was a mastermind seeker, capable of sifting through the consciousness of the most alien species without difficulty. Finally, he agreed to make a statement. The entire council gathered as Velvets, still trembling, stood before them. His once brilliant crystalline form had dimmed, and cracks spiderwebbed across his surface. "I touched the human's mind," he began, his voice barely a whisper. "I expected to find thoughts, memories, perhaps guarded secrets." He paused, his form flickering. "Instead, I found war." The council leaned forward. Not a memory of war. Not a thought about war. War itself. Existing as a fundamental layer of human consciousness. His voice grew stronger, edged with something like awe and horror. "Humans don't think about violence, they think through it. Every interaction, every relationship, every peaceful moment exists on top of 10,000 years of evolutionary combat programming." Ambassador Chen, watching via video feed, closed her eyes. She'd known this would be complicated. "The human mind is layered," Velvets continued. "The surface is genuinely peaceful, diplomatic, kind. Captain Rodriguez truly wants peace." He shuddered. "But beneath that? Predator instincts. Threat assessment. Kill or be killed calculations running constantly, automatically, unconsciously." His mind was simultaneously planning our conversation and identifying 17 ways to kill everyone in the room. The council erupted in panic. He wasn't planning to. Velvets shouted over the chaos. "That's what you don't understand. Those thoughts aren't conscious. They're automatic. Humans can't turn them off any more than you can stop your hearts from beating." He looked at each counselor. "Every human is like this. Every single one. Their entire species has survived by being the most effective predator their planet ever produced. Then they're too dangerous for the council," the Chularian representative declared. "No," Velvets said firmly. "You're missing the point. The most terrifying thing I found in Captain Rodriguez's mind wasn't the violence. It was the restraint." His voice dropped to a whisper. "Humans have all this capacity for violence, these instincts for combat, this evolutionary programming for predation, and they choose peace anyway. Every moment of every day, they're making that choice." The chamber fell silent. "I've touched the minds of warriors, killers, even genocidal tyrants," Velvets said. "None of them frightened me because their violence was their nature. But humans?" He looked directly at the council. "Humans are naturally violent, and they choose to be peaceful anyway. That's not weakness. That's strength beyond anything I've ever encountered. He turned to Rodriguez's image on the screen. I apologize for my reaction, Captain. Your mind is beautiful in a way I never expected. Terrifying, yes. But beautiful. Rodriguez smiled slightly. It's okay. We know what we are. The council debated for hours, but the vote was eventually unanimous. Humanity was granted membership, with Velvets providing the final testimony. They're dangerous, yes. But that's precisely why we want them as allies rather than enemies. Velvets never performed another telepathic scan. But when asked if humans could be trusted, his answer never wavered, absolutely. Because they know exactly how dangerous they are, and they choose kindness anyway.